Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Pass the Controller. I am your host, K7, and with me tonight is Justin and Tejas. Being that we have a smaller group today, we will be doing a PTC free play, which is, for those who have never seen it before, just your general video game roundtable discussion where we pick a bunch of topics, and rather than competing against each other to have the better argument, we just have an open discussion, which is all good and fun. And for tonight, I think we had a little spin on things by drinking while talking about the games. Leo? Everyone have their drink? Very, very good. Yep. Figured we have some fun tonight and see how well our arguments can be while tipsy. So let's get right to the topic tonight. Our first topic tonight. The question I propose to you guys: do you think it's officially time to move on from the previous generations of consoles? Now, what spurred this on for me to propose this is that recently Warner Brothers actually canceled their upcoming upcoming last-gen port of Mortal Kombat X. And in the past, WWE has also stopped making games for the last-gen systems. So what I want to know from you guys: is it time to officially move away from the last generations of systems? Or is it time to do that? Is it not time to do that? Or should it have been done months ago? Tejas, we'll start with you.
All right, yeah. I'm not really the kind of guy that was always up to date on video games and systems. I didn't have an Xbox or the GameCube. I went straight from PlayStation 2 to a 360, but my 360 even I got from a friend 6 years after it came out. And after I came out, it was great. I had all these games that were fantastic. You all right?
My cat is very fuzzy. And he's shedding on me. Oh
How much have you drank already?
My cat won't go
What's
away.
in that
so
drink?
I started scratching her, and then she's shedding.
Oh shit, man, my cat's so fluffy.
Well, she's standing right in front of the fan I keep on my desktop, so it's blowing right in my face.
Well, let's after that little tangent.
It's fair. I get it.
Tejas, continue on.
Yeah.
Cat break.
So every time I watch cat video... No, wait, that's the wrong topic.
Son of a bitch already.
No, so I'm a cheap gamer. I'm not one of those hardcore gamers. I like that I got a 360 later on, and I got great titles like Assassin's Creed, Gears of War, so on and so forth. I'm not even going to waste everybody's time. But I just got a PlayStation 4 just a few months after it came out, and to be completely honest... What?
Good choice.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I regret it yet, because all of my friends have Xbox One. But in the sense of should you purchase it, I really think it's kind of up to the gamer as well as what kind of person you are. For the gamer sense, for me, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Battlefront. I'm waiting for next games that I really want to play. I'm not going to spend $60 on some game that I'm okay about. For 360, I could spend $10 and get it in a package deal, and it's whatever. But for the newer games, it really comes up to do you have to have the new system? Do you have to have the games? I'm in that realm right now that I bought Arkham Knight because I got Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. I beat those, and then I got that. I got the full package. Then I got this One Piece game, Battlefront. As soon as it comes out, I got it. So I'm happy about that, but it is taking time, and I'm basically playing it for a couple months and then waiting for 5 months and then playing it for a couple months. Where, if you wait a couple of years or a year or whatever, maybe just a year, you could get the One Piece game, you can get the Final Fantasy game, you can get the new Arkham game, you can get Battlefront. You can get 8 games, so you can kind of
just you build up the library beforehand.
Yeah, and I think with this generation, we all have Netflix, Hulu, and so on and so forth, that we kind of like to keep going when we're starting. It's oh yeah, from January until April is all video games. So I would, for me, being cheap, not wanting to spend so much money right off the bat, or being impatient, I would say no. I would give it at least 2 years. 2 years, you should probably get 10 games on that system. I believe on both systems.
10 games?
10 games that people would like.
I was about to say, in that case, the Wii U must not even be on your damn radar.
It hasn't been since 64. I know, I really...
Smash, Mario Kart, Splatoon.
I know. No,
and then it kind of just tapers off a bit, but...
I got it. I know. There's a million games where I'm like, oh my god, where's that Wii U? Ugh.
I was about to say, but then again, if you're going by the number of games argument, I could say that about both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 as well.
Oh,
like
yeah.
on my shelf back there, I have a total of 7, and
Yeah.
that's just the seven games that I was absolutely interested in, and with two of the free download games that I still play, which being Temple of Osiris and Rocket League. That's it. So,
Yeah.
I guess I could say 9 games, but 2 of them are downloadable, and all of them can be found on multiple systems.
To be
Almost
fair,
all of them.
I did say I'm cheap.
Okay. But
So
even
I
cheap...
have-
Wait, if you're cheap, then how can you afford 10 games?
I don't. You have 10 games. I have 2 games. So like Battlefront, right? Or not Battlefront, but Frontline for Battlefield.
Mhm.
I got Battlefield 3 and 4, but I was like, they're kind of the same game. I love those types of games, but I don't want to spend $60. Spend $30 on it. But for me, that's a repetitiveness. Same with like Mortal Kombat. I'm not a fighter guy. I'm not like a fighter person, so I don't really care about purchasing like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. And Destiny was a waste of my time. So
Uh-oh.
Hey, don't talk about that. I have to spend money on that game here in a few weeks.
I know.
Have fun with that, sir. Well,
Continuously.
I will say the expansion is looking like a good enough expansion, but not for $40. That's just me. So, all right, Justin, what do you got? What are your thoughts on moving on to the next gen?
All right, so here's how it always goes. The trend is Western developers will stop publishing games on the old system because we drive the market as in getting the newest system to play the game. And like you think about it, in a game like say Destiny, which is on both, it amounts to a pixel difference in a sniper rifle graphically. Like that's the play difference between the two systems, and that's how it is at the moment. There's very little like the Xbox One can do that the 360 isn't capable at. While that's the 360 at its max output, that is the one not there. But
I'm sorry. I wish I had a graphic that said PC Master Race.
That's what I was. I'm like, I'm PC Master Race, so fuck this console shit anyway. But and so you'll see that, and it's gonna be where the PS3 is gonna have longer shelf life still than the Xbox, because Xbox is predominantly North American and European market, whereas PS3 has a larger Japanese market. So you'll see, like at the end of the PS2 era, we got a slightly more localized game influx towards the end of it. So you'll probably see that with the PS3. You'll start seeing a few more localized games as Western market tends to ignore it. So there's still life to the console. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, there's going to be some major Western devs who are going to ignore the 360 and they're going to ignore the PS3 because the new system's out and they want to drive sales onto that new system so that they can keep doing it and cut down their costs. Because we're cheap bastards. Let's just face it. We're cheap motherfucking bastards here.
Pretty much. All right. Well, my thoughts on it. Well, I don't think that I do agree in that that there is life for the older systems, but personally for me, it's been 2 to 3 years now. I think it is time for most.
Has it really been that long?
What?
Has it really been 2 to 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, you clearly need to lay off the sauce there, good sir.
Yeah, it has been 2 to 3 years. But but that also kind of shows how weak the launch titles were.
They were. It was super. Like no one went outright. Like I know very few.
Well,
people.
I did. I always get one system at launch. This time it was the PS4. Last time it was the Wii. It was the
PS4
Wii.
was way
Last
better
generation
than
was the Wii. This generation was the PS4, and I got Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That was it. But it was fun.
game.
It's December. It was November 29, 2013. So it's been a year and a half.
It's been 2 years.
It's 2 years. Dude. What?
Trying to defend myself.
But yeah. So it's like it. In my opinion, it has been 2 years. I do think it is time for companies to move on, and just slow and like. It has been happening very slowly, but I think it's time for it to rev up the whole. It's time to move on to the next generation of systems. While I know a lot of people still have the older systems, but like I said, it's time. It is time, so the main thing is that they aren't wasting, like the companies aren't wasting man hours and resources, basically making a low res port of a game developed for the next gen systems, whether or not they do it on release, like with the Madden games where it's released for every system under the damn sun, or a game like Mortal Kombat where it first comes out for the next gen and then it comes out later on the previous gen. It's a waste of time and money that could be better spent on other things. But that's just how I feel. So I do think that it's going to be happening now. So.
I do say that you're right. I did not know it was that long ago that these systems came out. So for me, I wanted to get back to...
when I'm right, take a drink.
Talk about yeah, cheers, guys.
But yeah, so continue.
East and West, part of it, that I actually do feel that's correct because all the games I'm waiting for are Japanese games. It basically was One Piece, which came out in March in Japan, and it came out like 2-3 weeks ago. Here, there's Disagia 4. There is the Dragon Warrior Heroes. Mm-hmm. They're coming out also with whatever. That's 3. But yeah, I'm waiting 8 months for those games that came out in Japan to come out here. So that is, I guess that's part of my way of gaming. Final Fantasy, that was the other one.
Yeah.
I guess mine is skewed where I knew that I wasn't going to be the guy that played, Madden, Street Fighter, Battlefield. So for me, I guess I was just wrong. I'll admit it.
Well, no, that's fine. But there are, like I said, there is a market out there for the older systems, and the games that are coming over, a lot of them look good. But but like I said, the main thing is I just think that it's taking too many resources away to essentially downgrade a game or like put it on multiple discs or like what they have to do with any port going back to from the Xbox One to the 360. It has to be put on multiple discs.
And if they're gonna do that, I do agree on one point. Was I messed up with Destiny. I bought it for 360. Mm-hmm. And it's not about the graphics or anything. I just know that they're going to keep doing this year after year, adding all these chapters, making this an epic game as they want it to be. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to restart on the next gen. Because
isn't there a way to port it?
Upgrade.
Yeah, I knew that there was something in existence that allowed you to upgrade from the...
You can upgrade from 360 to 1 or PS3 to PS4.
It has to stay within the same family. It's kind of what Harmonix is doing with the next Rock Band game, where all your DLC is tied to either your Xbox Live name or your PSN name. And unfortunately for me, I have to buy the whole since I switched system families. I got to buy. I'm stuck either having to pay $400 for a oh, shut up, you! I either have to pay for. Oh, hey, Rock Band's not on PC. How about that? But yeah, no, it's. I either have to pay $400 for the Xbox One or buy my $300 worth of DLC separately, in addition to the cost of the game. So I'm like,
I might just buy an Xbox One at that point.
It's like I was tempted, but the thing is, there aside from maybe Halo 5, there's really nothing enticing me over. Like, I have all the Rear Replay games on my N64.
There's nothing enticing to me about either next-gen system. Yeah,
It's like the only
Except
system that has
Wii U.
exclusives.
I have to buy a Wii U finally. Pokken Tournament. It's got a global release. That game's gonna kick ass.
Yeah. But yeah, right. There's basically the Pokemon Fighter is actually making a North American release on the Wii U.
So who wants to buy a PlayStation 4?
So Joe booking like game should look.
But going back to the point, like I said, back to Rock Band. The reason why I got the PS4 because I was looking ahead and I saw it had more exclusives that I was interested in, like Bloodborne. Rocket League is on this. It's like the only thing that the Xbox has is Halo or Forza. Dead Island did not appeal to me, but what the PS4 had, I had a much better experience with it with the PS3, so I stuck with it. And I'm not that dissatisfied because 90% of the games are on both systems, so I could play my Fallout 4 if I want to on that, though I'm getting it for the PC. But yeah, I'm also PC Master Race at times. But back to the point. I do think it is now time to move on to the next generation. It's like I understand giving it like a one. It's like, yeah, fine. Don't stop development in like the first year, but after a year and a half goes by, that's when you start. You say 2 years. I say year and a half. It's like more like the trickling. It's like the trickle.
Think about how, in that case, think about how much a critical success Persona 4 was for the PS2, and that was well into the life of PS3, and that game was a huge hit, and it was at first only PS2. They didn't make a PS3 version initially. So, I mean, you have games like that.
Here's the thing. That's Persona 4, man. I mean, if you're into that realm of video games, you would know that
they made that conscious decision, because that was part of their decision process, is will we put this on the PS3, or will we make it a PS2 game? And they went with a PS2 initial launch. I mean, eventually, yes, there was the PS3 version, and there's been, 8,000 versions of that game to come out since. But they made that decision, and you'll still see that, like, well into the end of a game's life. You will see people pick that console knowing more people have it, and there's no reason, like games like that don't need to be high-res, because it was Persona 4, there was nothing high-res about its graphics. So that's my point about the East vs. West. They still make, like, simplistic games that don't need that high resolution, whereas we drive graphics in the Western market. Like, that's our thing. Graphics.
See masterpiece.
If it's not the greatest graphical thing ever, with like 80 hours of cutscenes, it's not a game.
They don't Xenosaga?
But
Xenoblade.
There's that difference, and so to them, these are completely viable systems that match the specs they're putting out for games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, right. Persona 4 though, like even my buddy.
Fine. In that case, while there are notable exceptions like Persona 4, overall though, I think it is time.
It's time to
you'll
move
see
on.
that. Like this will be the last year that these consoles probably have.
Yeah,
a strong
this is going to be the last
showing
holiday season, and
it's
they're
going
going to be
the
tossing
last
out
holiday
deals
season. So
for that for the old systems. I'm hoping that that next year they kind of just stop making the older games. It's like there's you're gonna see them pop up with like the major names like the sports games, but overall I think we're gonna see a big downturn this year after this holiday season in terms of the previous generation of systems. And now rather than calling it next gen, we could call it current gen. How about that? But all right, well let's move on to our next topic tonight. Probably going to be a little quicker one. This actually happened about a month ago, in that after Razer acquired the Ouya, they kind of stopped. Well, let me rephrase. When the Ouya came out, they were offering a program offering small developers anywhere between like $7,500 to $30,000 to essentially develop games for them, which was pretty much a good way to motivate people to add games to their system. But when Razer acquired them, it was revealed that they were not going to essentially honor the Ouya's agreement. So I ask you guys, what are your thoughts on this? Is it just another facet of the overall failure of a once promising little system, or is this overly shocking coming from Razer?
Not surprised at all. I mean, come on, the game was pretty the system was pretty tanky. I'm looking at like its listed game library, and like it's pathetically small.
Well,
Like,
it is a non-major, or it was it was a new system developed by a non-major company.
my understanding was
It's like the
that
Oculus Rift.
it was going to be, when the Ouya came out, it was going to be mostly free developed games. Like, so I don't know where like people thought the money was going to come from, I guess.
Well, it was basically coming from the developers of the system itself. Basically doing on the sales of from the system, basically people buying it as more. It was an incentive.
Like the sad thing is, I'm looking at this game's like major titles, like Gianna Sisters. I'm pretty sure anyone who plays that played it on a PC. Zombie Driver HD was down there.
It was called the Free Games Initiative. That's what it was called. I couldn't think of the name of it.
Yeah, but I mean, when the system didn't start doing well, like I don't know what people expected. That's my thing. Like, this is not something people really picked up anyway.
Well, also another detail: the incentive was essentially to have them make them Ouya exclusives for the first 6 months. That was the main incentive that I'm reading right now. It's because that's how they would be making the money. Basically, they were developing for the system, prompting the system getting sold, and then basically the developers getting a kickback from the Ouya developers.
And what I'm reading now is basically they're not removing it; they're just cutting down because they're not doing exclusive rights.
Well, yeah, so then that never happened, because you look at this game's major. All right, you look at the major system games here: the Bard's Tale, Banner Saga, The Ball. Like I said, Gianna Sisters, Zombie Driver. Those are not exclusive.
You don't know Jack.
Yeah, I mean, half of these you were on PC for years now, and they still have to be announced dates on the Ouya, or came out well after the PC versions. I mean, so it's not exclusive, and it's just like, when this was announced, I really didn't think it would do well. Period. Like, I just didn't see it doing well.
Yeah, I didn't invest in the Ouya myself, because it's like I wanted to see if it would actually kick off before putting the money into it. But it seems that a lot of people had that same mentality, and unfortunately that caused the original sales to be so it was essentially a self-fulfilling prophecy. But
yeah, and honestly, if I could jump in, this is where when I saw this topic, I was like, really? How did you not see this happening?
Yeah.
This is America, for God's sakes. Oh, yeah, and you know what? It's sad to say, but we were by Walmart and Target.
America, take a drink.
America.
But, we're run by Walmart and Target with Coke and Pepsi. We like our brands, and it's sad.
It's a shame, because
because we're built off of mom and pop shops. So I've been told. I don't know. I'm too young.
Apparently.
So the PC has their master race, Maxter, like the occults, and all the systems have their own type of group that people follow, because everybody really is, whether you want to deny it or not, they like their brands. And when I saw this, I was so happy, because it was, there is this incentive that I can get indie games that might be as beautiful and intriguing as I've seen for the 360 and PlayStation 3 and now Xbox One, blah, blah. They're popular games like Faz and, Super Meat Boy that was in that documentary. and I was really pumped about it, but there was a part of me that was like, that's not how the world works. Like, unless you're backed by corporate dollars, you're not going far.
Yes and no. It depends on how well the money is used.
That was my pessimism.
Yeah, but for the Ouya, I don't think it was used very well. And honestly, this is just icing on the cake. After it was acquired, I think it sucks for the developers who were actually anticipating getting some form of a kickback, but it sucks. But you know what? Right now, it's just a cheap emulator box.
Yeah, to me, if you're gonna develop a game for an unknown system, then you gotta be basically like a developer making a shitty game. You're not getting your money back. You know, unfortunately, that's kind of how it is.
Sadly.
Yeah, it's just a sad truth.
If I'm a developer, it's me making my bones in the industry, kind of. Like, be like, look, here, we made this thing, and then we can go on to bigger, greater things. Which is not, like, I agree with Tejas, it's the corporate backing, but that's because the corporate backing comes in way of advertisement. Like, I mean, Ouya was it outside of gaming, like, dedicated gamers. Who the fuck heard about it? Nobody. There was no advertising.
A lot of people heard about it, but a lot of people I thought had more like a similar opinion to me, where it's like, okay, this is intriguing, but I don't think it's going to succeed, and B, I'm going to wait until it comes out so I can see what happens
It's not
first.
something like a soccer mom's talking about with her group, sitting around while they watch the kids play.
And you know,
hello, dear. Have you heard about the Ouya?
Oh, what's the Ouya?
The Ouya? Yeah. Oh, the Ouya? No, the Ouya.
The Ouya. I bought one for my son.
But yeah, that would be the thing. Like, you're not gonna get that widespread knowledge of it, which does help drive sales for major consoles. So you just don't have that without that corporate backing to fund that, because Lord knows that shit's expensive as fuck. I mean, that's like
can be, yeah.
And I'll say this, you're like, to pinpoint what you're saying, I went into a Rite Aid to go get some beer, and this console was underneath Christmas decorations.
Wait. You actually saw one at a Rite Aid?
I saw one.
At a Rite Aid.
On a Rite Aid.
Where did you find a Rite Aid to begin with?
Oh, no. There's a lot of Rite Aids around me, too.
Yeah.
It's just, I've never seen them have anything video games aside from the $5 bin.
You know what was next to it? It was those all-in-one Sega Genesis, where you get all the games for $20.
Oh, so it's been relegated. So it's essentially been relegated to the all-in-one systems.
And above it was Christmas stuff, and it was June. It was bottom shelf next to the all-in-one Sega, and I paused, and I was like, yo, I was with my buddy, I was like, yo, hold on for a second. Is that an all-in-one Sega?
No.
I was like, that's dope.
No, it's a Retron 3. Oh, man.
But I saw that, and I was embarrassed for the company. I really was. I was like, oh, that's where you ended up?
Jeez, it's like...
And it wasn't that long after it launched.
You will not be seeing any Nintendo systems there.
Nah, you had that big Pikachu board, and like everything will be there. And that's where the corporate backing is. They will never throw a Nintendo like Wii U underneath Christmas stuff in June.
No, instead they'll throw it under a bus.
Yeah, right. They'll just be right next to the candy and the magic cards when you check out.
Candy magic. But all right, well, I think we've said all that we can say about this one. Yeah, it's just another facet of the overall failure. Sucks, really but is what it is.
It's like our hopes and dreams.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just the real world brought it down.
Yep. All right. Well, in that case, let's move on to our next topic. Speaking of corporate backing.
Drink.
Yeah, drink. Speaking of corporate backing, Nintendo was in the news again lately as one of their essentially their localization editor, Chris Pranger. I forget how to pronounce his last name, but that just might be the beer talking, but that's beside me.
Pranger?
Yeah. Chris got fired for appearing on a small podcast. Basically, he was invited onto a podcast. He came on, spoke a little bit, didn't really say anything damning or anything really bad, and later that week, he's gone. So I ask you guys, was Nintendo justified in essentially firing him, as they essentially said that he violated his contract? So what was he? Were they justified, or is this way too much?
All right, I'm gonna step in because I only have a few words.
Go for it.
If you're that big of a conglomerate or a company, if I was the owner of it, yeah, I don't want you saying nothing. Even if it's damning or praising, he slipped out a few little secrets.
It has to be corporate approved.
Yeah, and you know what? I would rule it like Nazi Germany.
Ooh.
I really would. If I had that much stake in the world.
Second week in a row we're going into Nazi Germany.
But I really would. I really would. If I had a worldwide market, you know what I mean? It's like every country in the world knows about Nintendo. I would want to keep it locked down because there might be that one person where it's like, oh, you didn't say anything bad, you're fine. But then all of a sudden it's just like Nintendo Gate, and then I'm done. The whole thing comes crashing down. I would have that fear within me from building a company up to how, I mean, it's so large that, yeah, I would have to sacrifice a few peons just to show.
Well, he wasn't really a peon. He was a somewhat known name. Like, he's been on Nintendo podcasts before.
Okay, fine. So at least, like, whatever. Even if he was a PR person or somebody, if you're speaking for my company, I better give you my words because it's my company. My board better tell it. So I think, yes, he was justified. Is it fair in the world? No, but nothing in the world's fair, just like what we were just talking about. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys go ahead.
All right, counterpoint,
Justin.
Tons of companies, however large scale, let employees say all sorts of things. Bungie has player-based podcasts for, say, Destiny, in which they've literally bashed shit that goes on in game. Like, this is like, and you know, IGN's group, they've done podcasts where they don't show that control. But that being said, Nintendo is known as one of the most draconian places to work. Like, in the fact that you say shit, you get fired, you're lucky we didn't kill you too. Like, your body ended up in a ditch because you talked about Nintendo without our approval.
Oh god, it's Reggie with a machine gun.
Like, Nintendo is
What's it gonna do with that Master Sword?
Nintendo tends to be one of the most litigious of the big three companies. They sue over copyright more often than anybody else. They try and shut down fan art at times. Like, the only company that large that I can think of, which is more of a dick about shit, is the Pokemon company, who will sue you over, say, hosting a party with Pokemon-themed characters.
And now we're all losing our life savings. Thank you for that.
Oh, shit.
But that, to me,
he meant to say Pokemon TM, okay?
TM.
Poke-TM.
TM. But
Poketum.
yeah, those two companies, and I find it funny that they work together.
How about that?
They're like that. They will sue you. They will shut you down. I mean, because you have corporate leaks from Sony, Microsoft, all these major game developers all have their corporate leaks that happen insanely frequently, but Nintendo, no. Like, you have corporate leak, and it's like this big news because it came from Nintendo. It's like, oh my god, the world is going to end because there was a leak inside Nintendo.
Because Nintendo.
So I want to go point, counterpoint.
Okay.
Why is that bad?
I'm not saying it's bad. Like, they're technically justified. That's their contract is set up with non-disclosures. I mean, it's the law. Yes, they're justified in doing it. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that they don't have to be that way too. Like, there's no, they don't have to. They're Nintendo. You can say all the shit you want, and it's not going to stop anybody. You'd be like, Nintendo literally worships Satan in the basement. Like, they have satanic altars, sacrifice blood virgins, and people are still going to buy Nintendo products. Like, they're not going to stop people.
You must appease the Reggie god.
Yo, if I was that big, I would.
Yeah,
you better appease me. Like, I don't see anything wrong. I mean,
they have Muppets, for God's sakes. They have Muppets.
It's that, you know, they practice prima nocte over there. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it's Nintendo. All right.
All right. Well,
you know, here's the thing: if they were like the what's the Illuminati, or what's the other one that everybody in America thinks they're part of?
Freemasons.
The Freemasons, yeah. If Nintendo was like the Freemasons, if that's the way they're acting, do not deny that if they gave you that ring, you'd wear that thing.
I would. I'd be like, I work for Nintendo.
Nintendo.
You have Nintendo brass knuckles.
It's like
That's
the
what this
mafia,
guy
man.
didn't realize. That's what this guy didn't
Exactly.
realize.
You know, he's a made man who opens his mouth. I mean, that's 2 bullets to the back of the head. Fuck you, excuse
We
me.
all watch Sopranos, you know what I mean? It's La Familia.
Good God. Well,
They've only
my
said-
thoughts on this, for me, they were justified in punishing him. I do not think that he should have been fired. It's because that I think actually creates even more of a negative PR issue. It's like, yeah, we understand that you can't really say stuff or go on stuff, but rather than say fire the guy, either like relocate him inside the company, or say that, okay, yeah, you can't be doing this anymore. It requires a stern reprimand, but I think they went a little too far with getting fired.
It's like the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
You got that. You got that right there. All right, cut it. We'll just
No,
pause,
it's fine.
Reset.
God damn it, people.
It's true. You're like, they just move them around. They forget it ever happened. Hey,
The
ready?
Catholic Church now?
Don't you care, don't you tell, or you'll end up right in hell.
Oh, I'm Hindu.
Don't you
I'm
ask, don't you
straight to
tell.
hell.
In the right. Here's your check, direct from Rome. Buy yourself a brand new home. Moving around.
All right, ready?
But no, you're fine. But but yeah, it. Like I said, I think they went a little too far. I do agree that they were justified in doing something, but like I said, I do not think that they were justified in how far they went. But that's just me. I don't work in Nintendo, and yeah, so but that's my opinion. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. All right. So
Cheers.
moving on, moving around. But yeah, so our next topic tonight, one of our last ones. This one should be quick. There was a recent announcement for a new Street Fighter V character. The lovely wrestler R. Mika looks to be taking the role of Zangief in this upcoming Street Fighter game. So what I ask you guys, is this a good character addition, or should they have kept the Russian bear wrestler? Justin, have fun.
You mean porn star Armika?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not like Zangief was better.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
it's like wait, yeah, it's like
yeah,
she's curvaceous, but have you seen Zangief? He is in Speedo shorts wrestling you.
I didn't even really look into it. Are they literally just not using Zangief then anymore? Because that's disappointing. I mean, he's classic Street Fighter. You just can't replace those guys. You build on that cast. You don't relegate them to the past.
But then you realize, what about, they have a surprisingly large library of characters, and you can only put so many in a game at once. So they had him in Street Fighter in the last Street Fighter game, and they added a whole bunch of characters in that. Armika was not included. So it is nice seeing the character make a return.
Yes,
I don't really play that character, but it's like, all right. Personally, I'm indifferent about it.
Alpha characters come back. Like, I miss a lot of the alpha cast.
Yeah. Well, it looks like in this one they're adding some more. So it's like you're seeing we're probably going to be seeing more alpha characters like Charlie's back, or Nash, or whatever the hell they want to call him. Yeah, he's back. Birdie's back, and now Armika's back. So I'm thinking that this one you're going to have a lot more alpha characters make an appearance, rather than the main Street Fighter roster. Aside from, say, like the mainstays, like you got Ken Ryu, Cammy, Chun-Li, and Bison, those guys.
I mean, those were alpha guys too, so it's not like you can't.
So now we're just waiting for Zuri or Yuri, whatever her name is.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, like for me, Alpha had probably some of my favorite cast of characters. Even to me, Alpha is like where they branched out and really just had fun with what they were doing. They came up with so many colorful characters. So, I mean,
yeah, this game is definitely a lot more colorful than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how they get. They get they kind of have some fun, then they get super serious again, and then they kind of lighten up and have some fun again with the characters. So, I mean, I hope Zangief's just not done with. Period.
Oh yeah, they're probably gonna make another return. Supposedly Zangief is Armika's essentially her idol, so he'll probably make an appearance somehow.
So, can I jump in?
Go for it.
All right. So I'm not a fighter genre fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I played Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat 1. You know, I played the games.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I never got really into Tekken or any of that, but Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat has been part of my life from day one, basically. The one thing that I always hope for, because I am an RPG fan, is story. What?
Fan service? You say you're an RPG fan?
Fan service, no. is really a story. Now, fighting games, I think, are always... Not always. No.
I was going to say, if you're looking for a story, play Injustice or the newer Mortal Kombat games.
So here's the thing. That's what I like about Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter. Because Mortal Kombat had Scorpion be killed by Sub-Zero, go to hell, come back to retribute it, kill Sub-Zero, then Sub-Zero's brother takes over.
Spoilers!
Oh, yeah. Sorry. If you got Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, you know this. But I love that about Street Fighter, and I wish that fighting games would take that where it was like Asura was... Asura? Is that the girl in Street Fighter?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Or is that the big dude?
So, are you talking about...
Anyways, there's a girl in a schoolgirl outfit, and she's
like... Sakura.
Sakura, okay.
Sakura.
Asura was a mean dude.
Asura's Wrath. That's a completely different game.
But Asura is the dude, is like basically that dark skin
Akuma.
Akuma.
Have another drink, buddy.
Okay, anyways, regardless of all that, like when I saw those characters, I thought maybe the storyline was that Ryu was getting old. And then he had to get a disciple, and then they had all these people.
Sakura is actually Dan's disciple.
I understand that.
Yahoo!
I do understand that, but I really wish that there was a fighting genre game that did that, whereas like 1 and 2 was the original cast, and then basically time moved on.
MKX. Well, Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X.
Okay, that's 9 and 10.
Well, actually, no. In the previous games, too, the story moved on, and eventually they basically said, you know what, this is getting way too clusterfucky, let's reboot. So they finally rebooted it.
Mortal Kombat. That's what I said. I like Mortal Kombat because they had a storyline where you could follow it, and I wish that like Street Fighter kind of had that.
But it does.
It does.
You just have to watch them. Like, every Street Fighter game that comes out with a set of movies attached to it. You watch those movies, you will get all the story that the game hints at. Like, and then you can go read the manga, watch the anime.
I've done all that, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want Ryu in a Street Fighter game anymore.
Well,
why? You can't get rid of him. He's
Ryu not in a Street Fighter game is like having a Mortal Kombat game without Raiden, or having a Mario game without Mario.
Yeah.
Hey, however, I believe that there's a custom option. Ryu has a beard.
It's a fighting game, so I think that these fighters. This is my ultimate fighting game. Was that they would have them for like 2 or 3 games, and then get too old and become like was it Gyu, which was Ryu and Ken's like sensei?
I think you're talking about
Gen.
Japanese sensei Gen.
Gen.
Yeah,
I'm
Gen.
terrible at all of this.
That's fine.
But
yeah, so like I said, what you're describing.
Ryu had a big beard, and it's just like you need to go out and defend our land.
Well,
and he's just like I can teach you.
what you're describing is right now Mortal Kombat, but as you said, that's why you're a fan of the series, and yeah, I agree. It's nice to see a game do that, and that's why I'm now a fan of Mortal Kombat again. Though I'm still annoyed that they killed Stryker. I'm not happy about that.
I still see Street Fighter get to that point though. Like they've been reluctant to really, but you'll see.
It's essentially just revamps each year.
Well, yeah, but
years.
you've seen them kind of like in the writing, in the movies and whatnot. These newer characters like Ibuki, Sakura, and the younger cast take up more prominent roles. And so
that would be nice.
Just been slower about it.
Yeah.
Street Fighter: The Legend of Dan.
Ugh.
Story that progresses. King of Fighters is the way to go. I mean, that game's story.
Dead or Alive is doing that too.
Yeah,
you know what Street Fighter would be Legend of Dan is Street Fighter 3. That's the Legend of Dan.
Yahoo! Hadouken! All right. Well,
you'll see. To counterpoint of like really story-driven fighter games, go look at indie games like Skullgirls, man. That's super intensely story-driven.
Or the Persona 4, the Persona Arena series too.
Yeah.
Well, like we said, Persona's a whole different monster.
Or the Injustice game.
Oh yeah, Injustice, which is my favorite Harley Quinn outfit ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
You want us to leave you alone?
Let's move on, shall we?
I was looking at Armika for that, alright?
Yeah, we aren't even talking about her anymore.
I've noticed, so let's move on. Oh, man. Well, in that case, I think it's time for more drinks. So, thank you both for coming on tonight. Yeah, definitely big thanks to both Justin and Tejas for coming on tonight. Apologize we couldn't get for the final topic, but you know what? I need more drinks.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Thank you very much again. I am K7. Thank you. Enjoy your drinks and good night.
See ya.
Bye-bye now.